and welcome to episode 48 of Tales of Yarnia. My name is Hannah and this is Jonah, you might be able to see just there. He's my yellow Labrador, and I'm coming to you from Cheltenham in the UK, which is where I live with my other half Jimmy and Jonah. So it's been a little while, which I feel like I say that every time now, but it really has been a little while, and I've been putting off recording just because I've needed some time just to chill and focus on just doing what I'm enjoying. So I hope you have returned and still want to watch. Sorry about the noise with Jonah. I wanted to say a big welcome to any returning viewers. I really appreciate you coming back and watching each and every episode. It's really lovely to hear your comments and just get feedback on what you do and don't like about the podcast. So yeah, and also a big welcome to any new viewers. Thank you so much for giving my podcast a try. I really hope you enjoy what I've got to show you and talk about. Excuse me. So, if you didn't already know, this is a crafty podcast all about knitting, a little bit of crochet, spinning, embroidery. I have only got knitting to show you today, but other episodes I do feature those crafts. And yeah, hopefully the light won't blow the camera out too much. I've tried to put the blind across halfway because it's switching between cloudy and bright sunshine. Right now we've got the bright sunshine, as you can probably tell. So if it gets too bad, I might just shut it a little bit more actually. Hopefully that will help. That does look a little bit better. You can actually see the colours on the screen now. Okay, so I think we're on to a few little bits of admin. There was one thing which is very important, and I completely forgot to include this in the last episode. And it's a pattern giveaway which has been gifted to the podcast by my lovely friend Nessa, who is Vanessa Townley. She is known as Kiltercraft on Instagram, and I believe she's known as that on Ravelry. And she's also the host of the lovely podcast, the Kiltercraft podcast, which is on YouTube. So if you haven't seen that, I would definitely go and check that out as well. She has some really lovely pattern designs. And she normally focuses on things like cables and colour work and texture and just all the really cozy goodness. So go and check out her patterns, go and check out her podcast. And yeah, so she has been so kind, and she's given a copy of her latest sock design, which is called Soul Attraction, with the word soul spelled S-O-L-E, like the sole of the foot, which is very clever. So she has gifted a copy of that pattern for me to give away on the podcast, and she also very kindly gifted one to me, and I will include a little picture of that just over here, so that you can have a look and see what they look like. It's a lovely colourwork motif on the leg, and I believe it's ribbing on the foot of the sock, and it just looks like a really fun pattern to get your teeth stuck into. So I'm going to host the giveaway in the Ravelry thread within our podcast group, which is Tales of Yarnia on Ravelry. I'll open a new thread for this giveaway, and the prompt to enter will be just to tell me something really positive or something which you are thankful for at the moment, as I know so many of us are having such a hard time right now, and I think it's really important to try and at least sometimes find some positive in everything. So if you just say something you are thankful for or something which is positive in your life at the moment, then that will be your entry. So I think that was everything I needed to say about that. And we're now going to talk about the slow down make along, which I have neglected very, very much over the last couple of months. And it's basically a very informal make along, encompassing any type of crafting you want to include. And I held a Ravelry thread over on the Ravelry group, just as a chatter thread and a finished objects thread, just because it's a very low-key, informal make-along. We don't have to have finished objects or anything like that. And I'm just going to announce some winners. Each winner will be able to pick a pattern from my Ravelry shop, and I will send it over to you. So I decided to do this just because it was a very informal sort of make-along, and the focus was really on just enjoying what we're making, not on finishing objects and winning prizes as much. But I do want to just give a little back to you guys for joining in the spirit of slowing down and enjoying what we're making. So I've used a random number generator and picked 3 posts from the Ravelry thread. And the first winner is post number 38, who is Lacewing on Heather. So congratulations. Second winner is post number 16, who is Patty Lieb. I think I'm saying that right. I'll put each of the names on the screen anyway. And the third winner is post number 2, who is Kiss My Art. So well done to all of you for joining in. Thank you so much for participating and embracing the spirit of the knit along. Not knit along, make along. There are so many lovely projects, and I've just been having a look through the Ravelry thread, and it's just so lovely to see everyone chatting and supporting each other. I think it's really, really nice to have a lot of chatter going on in the thread, and I'm so sorry that I neglected it. It was just one of the things which just unfortunately fell to the bottom of my list, and I just didn't get around to participating in the thread as much as I wanted, but instead I was trying to focus on just enjoying what I've been making. So I hope you can forgive me for that. So the 3 winners that I announced, if you just send me a message either on Ravelry or Instagram, just let me know which of my patterns you would like, and I will send it over to you on Ravelry. If you message me on Instagram, let me know your Ravelry name as well. So yeah, don't know if I said I am Yarnia Designs on Instagram and Ravelry, and I think that was I think I forgot to mention that at the beginning. So if you do want to contact me, it's Yarnia Designs, but I include all the links to where you can find me and everything that I talk about just in the description box down below. Okay, so that was it for the admin. Oh, I'm just going to have a drink now. Okay, so because it's been a little while, I have got quite a few FOs to show you. The first of which is one I'm currently wearing. So I will just stand up. I'm going to disturb Jonah, who's lying right next to me here. He's being a really good boy, and I'm going to disturb him. I'm sorry, Jonah. It's okay. You stay there. Good boy. I'm just going to stand up just so you can sort of see. This is my latest t-shirt design, which is the Shoreline tee. And I designed this with Pixie Yarns, and it's a fingering weight design. And today I'm just wearing it over a jumpsuit, but it works really well over dresses or just as a cropped tee. I think I can wear it with jeans as well. I'm not a massive fan of having like load of midriff on display, but because that's just not me. It's just not my style. But you could like easily wear it with. I've been wearing it over dresses and over this jumpsuit and high-waisted jeans and shorts. So yeah. Currently it is in testing. Sorry, I might just move that to the side so I can stand back and you can see my face a little bit. So currently it's in testing and I'm hoping to release the pattern in June. The colourway is currently, I don't know the name, the lovely Sophie of Pixie Yarns sort of developed the colourway. She developed a few different ones. She developed it just for this design. So I think we are going to be doing kits, hopefully. So I think the colourway will be released at the same time as the design. So we will get organised with that. But yes, it's just got some like cute little details like this eyelet along the neckline and then also around the sleeves. And then obviously you've got this pretty lace pattern at the bottom. I just wanted a really simple summer tee that you can just throw over things just for when it is a little bit chillier. But just with some cute little details and a lot of straightforward knitting. So I think this would be a good beginner garment knit. And I just quite like the scalloped edge as well that it's created with this lace. So yeah, that is my new t-shirt design. So I will keep you up to date mostly on Instagram. I'm trying not to run over Jonah's feet. Mostly probably on Instagram if you want to keep an eye out for when that will be released. But yeah, I'm super happy with how it's turned out and I absolutely love the yarn. You just can't really go wrong with Pixie Yarn. She does absolutely beautiful colourways. They're just so pretty. Everything she comes up with, I want. So yes, definitely go check her out as well. Okay, so that's my first finished object. I did forget to say it's knit from the bottom up in similar construction to my bramble tee, which I released last year. There, forgot to say that bit. Okay, so next FO, I'll move on to these vanilla socks. I don't think I've shown these as an FO yet. I can't remember when I finished them. I'm finding that the days and weeks are just blurring into the same day. Just because it's all a bit of a strange time right now. So I did forget that I haven't shown these on the podcast yet, and I did wear them once. So naturally now they are completely covered in Jonah hair. It's just what happens. You wear socks, they end up covered in Jonah hair. So these are my RuPaul's Drag Race socks, which I absolutely love. I've just done a plain vanilla stockinette sock, and I absolutely love the way this yarn has pooled and sort of spiraled. And then for the heel, I used the New Depths heel, which is a heel pattern by Becky Sorensen of Soprano Knits. And yeah, so the yarn, the main colourway is Stranded Dye Works. She did 3 different RuPaul's Drag Race themed colourways. I'm sure it was at least a year ago. And this one is Reading is Fundamental. I just think it is so fun. And the contrast colour, I used a mini stain I've got like a rainbow set of mini skeins from All's Wool that Ends Wool. So I thought this sort of indigo-y purple matched just so well. I thought it was perfect to go for the heels and toes. So I really enjoyed knitting these, and I find that I just always need a really simple pair of socks on the go, just as something that's really portable to knit and just simple. You can just go round and round without having to think, just mindless knitting. So there we go. Where are you going, Jonah? I'm not sure where he's going, but yeah, really, really pleased with these. And now that I've shown them, I can wear them again. Although recently it's been way too hot over here in the UK to wear any socks at all. Although it has just cooled down today. It's sunny outside, but I think it's only about 12 degrees Celsius. And I think we've got a really, really cold wind. It is just like really, really windy outside. All of the trees are moving everywhere, and it's just too cold. So, but it's nice to still have the sunshine. So it's nice and bright, and yeah, means I can wear a little bit of knitwear. So yeah, those are my socks. So yeah, there we go. I don't think there was anything more I needed to say about them. The sock blockers were from my mum, and I can never remember where she got them from. I need to just have it stamped on my head. I'm really sorry. She definitely found them on an Etsy shop in Europe. It wasn't in the UK. It was a European country. Different European country, because I think we're still in Europe at the moment. I'm not sure. Yes, we'll still be in Europe, just not in the EU. Anyway, my brain is just some sort of conveyor belt of weird thoughts that's just does not stop. Anyway, third FO. This is the last FO. I've only got 3. I say only, but I think that's about 3 in 3 weeks, so that's pretty good. And these are my new socks. So this is my new sock design. I'm really, really pleased with how they've turned out. I really, really love them. So I'll try and show you. So the cables and eyelet pattern sort of reminded me of wisteria, as well as the colour. Reminded me of wisteria, sort of intertwining and twisting, and yeah, just sort of like the climbing nature of the plant and the colour. I just thought it'd be really pretty to name them something to do with wisteria. And the little eyelets, I thought, just reminded me of the flowers as well. So yeah, so I did ask on Instagram for a little bit of help with suggestions for names for the pattern, and there was one that jumped out at me immediately, which was by Bex of the Bex Creates podcast on YouTube, and she's Bexy Norms on Instagram, and she came up with the idea of Floribunda, which is one variety of wisteria, I believe. So that's the name I'm going to go with. So thank you so much, Becky, for helping me with that. It's all the credit goes to you, and I'll have to gift you a copy of the sock pattern when it comes out as a thank you. I just find it so hard to think of names for every design. Sometimes it's like immediately there, and then other times I just struggle. So I knew they reminded me of wisteria, but the name Wisteria Socks was taken, so I didn't want to copy, like sort of have another design with the same name. So yes, I'll just try and show you one at once because then it's a bit easier. So you have this, there's like a double cable followed by a single cable, and then on the front, this is also a double cable that runs up the front. So that's sort of how the pattern works, just sort of goes all the way around the leg of the sock. Oops. And then obviously just on the foot, the top of the sock for the foot. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how these have come out. I haven't yet got these ready for testing, but I'm hoping over the next week or so I will manage to do that once I have some more days off. It just seems like my days off go so fast, and then I'm back at work again, waiting for the next days off so that I can carry on doing the design work and the podcast. So yeah, it just all takes quite a lot of time. So just bear with me. So I think June is going to be a good year. Good year? Oh my goodness. I think June should hopefully be a good month for me releasing patterns, because there's a couple of garments which I've been designing for a while and we've got, hopefully will be ready to release at some point in June. So there we go. And socks don't normally take quite as long to get ready to be released. So fingers crossed it won't be too long for these once I've got organised. Okay, so I should really tell you the yarn that I've used. The main colourway, I should say both of these yarns were left over from my Floozy 2 sweater, and I ended up having enough left over of the main colour for the sweater and one of the contrast colours to make a whole pair of socks. So I really like using up leftovers, and it was really nice that I had enough left in a combination to knit a whole pair of socks. And yeah, I've almost used it up now. Still got a bit left, but those will go into either my crochet blanket or mini skeins for doing advent swaps. So the main colour I was about to tell you is Big Sky Yarn Co. And it's on, I've got the label here, which is now a little bit crinkled because it's been living in the project bag. Big Sky Yarn Co. And it's a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And the colourway is Band of Horses, which I really, really love that name. I just love the way it worked up. Just so pretty. So that's the main colourway. The contrast colour that I've just used for the toe is Moonstone Dye Works, and that is Tommy of Dynamite Trujillo on Instagram. And I think, what's her podcast called? Squirrel Pie Productions on YouTube. Oh, just kicking everything. So yeah, that's Tommy of Squirrel Pie Productions, and her yarn company is Moonstone Dye Works. And this is her BFL base, which is really, really lovely to use. And it's really soft, but still really hard wearing, so I thought it would be a good one to use on the toes. And the colourway for this one is Crescent Moon. I really, really love that colourway. What's on with that? Some more of the speckles. It's really pretty. I just thought the combination went really well. So these are the Floribunda socks. I hope I'm saying that right. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with these. Those are all of my finished objects. But I do still have quite a few whips to show you. Some older whips and some brand new cast-ons. Okay, so the first whip I will show you is not a new whip, but it's something I've been working on quite a lot, especially over the last few days. And it's living in my gorgeous bag from Claire of Bird Street UK. And she is also one half of Mr. B's Yarn. So, isn't it gorgeous? I absolutely love this bag, and it's perfect for a sweater project. So living in here is just some of the yarn. I've actually got the project just over here because this morning I just finished binding off the body of the sweater. So as you can see, I'm doing the cropped version. So hopefully when I'm wearing jeans, it will sit just below my waistband. I'm hoping. I tried it on earlier and it looked like a really good fit. So fingers crossed. This bit will stretch out quite a lot with blocking. And once I had it on, it stretched out quite a lot on the yoke. It just needs to be blocked. So this is my Sorel sweater, which is a pattern by Wool and Pine. And I'll just show you a close-up of the yoke. Isn't it gorgeous? So it's this gorgeous, I don't know what this stitch is called, I can't remember. It did say in the pattern, I've completely forgotten. So, but it's just so beautiful. And it makes it look like little plaits, isn't it? So this bit is quite a fiddly bit to do, but once you get past the yoke, you then, even though the texture on the outside is reverse stockinette, so would just be purl stitches, you actually knit it inside out. So you only have to do knit stitches. So that was the way around that I was actually knitting it once you get past the yoke. And the split for the sleeves, it's then just plain sailing. So yeah, really, really pleased with it. The bind off though, it lasted an absolute eternity. So you have to do, I'm not over the trauma of this yet. I was like racing along with the body, knitting around and around and around. I was like, yes, I'm making great progress on this. And then yesterday, it took me most of the day, or most of the knitting time that I had yesterday was spent doing some of the body and then this twisted rib for 2 inches at the bottom of the sweater, which, I mean, I hate ribbing anyway. I love the look of twisted rib, which is why I did it, because I've also got twisted rib on the neckband. So it makes sense to have twisted rib. But then I found out I needed to do a sewn bind off. I hate it so much. I love the look of it, but the process took me probably about an hour and a half just to bind off the sweater. It was an absolute eternity, especially when I wanted to just quickly do it this morning so that I could show the sweater on the podcast. I was like, I'll just quickly do the last row and bind off. And there was no quickly about it. It was just an absolute eternity. I mean, it's a lovely finish. It's a really, really nice finish to the body of the sweater. Once it's blocked, it will be anyway. So yeah, once it's stretched out, it's really, really lovely. And I'm sure I'll appreciate it. I hated the process. I hate doing a sewn bind off. And I don't know if I also have to do that on the sleeves or not. I probably do. But I'll hate it all over again. I feel very strongly about this bind off. So I'm sure it'll be great once I can wear it. But for now, I haven't started the sleeves yet, but I think I will really enjoy those because it'll just be knitting around and around until I then have to do some twisted rib. But at least it's only then on a small circumference. It's not like each row then takes me forever. So yeah, I really, really, really love how it's turning out. So especially when I tried it on for the first time this morning, after investing all of that time in this sweater, that was the first time I tried it on after doing the bind off. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with the fit so far. And yeah, I forgot to tell you what the yarn is. The yarn is 2 different yarns held together. I'll just get the cakes. I think I've got the labels here too. Yeah. So both of the yarns I am holding together are by Fruitful Fusion. And I absolutely love them. Absolutely love the yarn. Here we go. So they are both from Fruitful Fusion. And they're just gorgeous. I love them so much. This one is non-superwash. It's a 4-ply, 100% non-superwash merino. And I don't believe this one has a colourway name, but it's beautiful, sort of very light, appley, minty green. It's a bit greener than it's showing up on the screen right now. It's showing up a little bit more blue. And this one is merino, not merino, it's mohair silk. Yeah, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, and it's lace weight. And that one is the cool mint colourway. It's showing up a bit bluer again. The light is just playing havoc with my podcast today. Yes, absolutely love these. So those 2 are held together, just, I guess, to sort of make a sport/DK weight would be what it'd come out as. It's just gorgeous. Just the fabric that it creates. It's just stunning. I think this is the first sweater that I've knit using mohair held together with fingering weight. So I'm really, really enjoying it. It works up a lot quicker than just fingering weight on its own, obviously, because you can then use slightly bigger needles and you require fewer stitches for the same area of garment. But yeah, another thing about the bind off. Sorry, I'm just going to go back to that again. Another thing was that because it was with fingering weight held with mohair, it was so much more fiddly, and it got because you have to, when you do a sewn bind off, you need approximately 3 to 4 times the amount of yarn to the length of knitting that you're binding off. So I have reams of this yarn that I've cut off, and you have to use a needle and obviously sew the bind off. And because it was such long bits of yarn, it was just all getting tangled and knotted to start with, and I was not having a good time. So the fact that it was mohair held with fingering weight, I think, exacerbated the situation. But it's done now, and I'm never undoing it. Ever, 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 because that would just be the worst thing ever. So I'll just hold it up to and sort of see what sort of length it will come to on me. It's sort of hip length-ish. I don't know, where are my hips? I don't know. It's sort of like, so it will be below my like jeans. Hopefully, it should be. But yeah, and I really love the colour too. Love the yarn and I love the pattern. It's just the bind off, which isn't anyone's fault. I could have used a different bind off if I'd wanted, but I did want the proper finished effect, so yay. Right, I will pop this back in here and I'm going to work on the sleeves later, possibly while I edit this podcast, because it'll just be knitting around and around. It'll be great. Obviously, hopefully with some decreases. So that was the first whip. Hopefully I didn't scare you all off with my rant about the bind off. It was just horrendous. Anyway, next up I might show you what's living in here. So this is my gorgeous project bag from Emma of Eldon Woodcraft. And she has the Eldon Woodcraft podcast on YouTube. So I'm recommending all of the podcasts today. Watch them all. They're all great podcasts. If you haven't heard of any of them and you're finding that you're stuck for something new to watch, then give them a go. But I'm sure you will have heard of most of them. So, look at these birds. They're all cute. Emma makes the most gorgeous project bags. And they're all sort of woodland and nature themed. So pretty. Or sheep themed. She does lots of sheep bags. Gorgeous. Okay, so living in here is my wedding shawl, which I did sort of put to one side for a little bit just when lockdown started, up until probably this week. It's been sort of hibernating, which is okay because we're not getting married until November. But there's just been so many unknowns, and the thought of thinking about the wedding and planning has just been like really stressful for me, just because I don't know if we're even going to be getting married this year now. So I sort of put it down for a while, and I think I needed some time away from thinking about the wedding and things like that. We're not even planning a big do or anything. It's literally 15 guests, so it's really, really tiny. So I'm hoping it will still be okay, but I wanted this project to be a really joyful project when I cast it on, when I planned it. And that's why I cast it on so early, so that there wouldn't be much pressure involved. And it would just be, I can pick it up whenever I feel like working on it. And I planned for it to be a long-term whip, just because it's going to be a very intense lace shawl. So the yarn which I'm using, I absolutely love the yarn and the pattern, and I'm really enjoying the project as well. So this is all positive. And I sort of picked it up again this week because I sort of thought, well, at some point we are going to get married and I am going to need this shawl. And it could be this year, or it could be next year. We just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of things that are out of our control at the moment. But this is one thing I can control about the wedding, and one thing I can enjoy and look forward to wearing on the day. So I'm trying to focus on the positives and the things which I can do something about, and feel like I am still making progress towards our wedding, even though quite a few things are up in the air. Just to clarify, we've not had anything to say that our wedding will be called off. but I just don't want to take anything for granted at the moment, just because we don't know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the year. So the yarn I'm using is this gorgeousness from Pixie Yarns, and it's a lace weight, which I don't think is one of Sophie's regular bases. I don't think she usually has lace weight available in the shop, but she had some lying around and was really kind and dyed up a colourway that I've been looking for on this, I think it was alpaca silk. Have I kept the label in here? No, because I'm silly. I know it's got alpaca in. Possibly cashmere and silk. It smells really nice. And it's this gorgeous dusty pink. It's just so pretty. And the shawl pattern that I am knitting is, I think it's the Landskein shawl, which is by Mary Alice. Did I write it down? I don't know. No, I just called it wedding shawl in my notes. That's not helpful. My notes are terrible. Is it Mary Ann Mace? I will link to it. I'll write it on the screen. I would have written it on the screen the last time I talked about it and I've just forgotten. But it's now getting too wide to show you properly on the needles, so I will try my best without losing the stitches, because that would be a disaster. No, ooh, is this working? Sort of. Yeah, that's sort of working. So I'm well into the lace now. I say well into, this has been many hours work because it's so delicate. I'll just see if I can just show you the lace. Ah, there we go. I absolutely love how it's working up so far. I don't know if I'd started the lace the last time I showed you, but I've got this marker on there for some reason. I don't know what that means. Yeah, from here, it's like these cables and lace all mixed in, and the lace only gets more complicated from here. Only gets more and more complicated. So, but I am enjoying it. It's really nice to have a project where I need to think. It's nice to have a variety, I think, on the needles of some mindless knitting projects and some which require quite a bit of brain power. So does that help for you to see? Yes, that does. So yeah, this is it so far. Obviously it's a lot longer. I've just got it all bunched up over here and over here. But I don't want to lose that off the needles. So it's going to be a really beautiful crescent shaped shawl with intricate lace. There is an option to add beads, but I'm not opting to add beads for mine. I just want the lace. I want it to just be like this. Yeah. It's just so soft and I absolutely love it. It's really fun to work on, and yeah, it's lovely. Really pretty. So I'm very happy with how that's going, and at least it is going again now. So there is that. Okay, so I've still got two more whips to show you, and they're both new cast-ons, which is interesting. I've been really trying to get sort of long-standing whips off the needles, so like my current focus, the thing I'm most working on is my Sorel sweater, especially now that I've got just 2 sleeves to do. So I think the fact that I've finished the body now has really spurred me on, and I'm like, right, just 2 sleeves. It's basically DK weight yarn, so hopefully I can make quite a bit of progress on that and have that finished by the next time I see you, or however long that is. Hopefully a few weeks. I'm hoping I'll have that sweater finished within a week. So then that'll be another big whip off the needles. I've still got Jimmy's sweater, is one which I want to then focus on. And I also really want to cast on the Susu, which I have the yarn for, I have the pattern, and I can't wait to cast that on. I really want to cast it on. So I might let myself cast that on once I've finished my Sorel. I'm not sure. I also still need to finish a Bonbon Bunny. And yeah, I think those are the things that I'm not showing. Jimmy's sweater and the Bonbon Bunny. But hopefully the Sorel sweater will be finished soon. And I did finish 2 pairs of socks, so, and this. I'm doing okay, I think. Need to not be so hard on myself. So the next thing I'll show you is living in this gorgeous project bag, which I've now attached some badges to. And the bag was from my lovely friend Jan, who's Faithful Sheep on Instagram. And she made this for me. I absolutely love this bag. And initially I'd added this little cocktail, it's a margarita, not progress keeper, a little pin badge onto that. And there's a little bit of a story behind these other badges which have been added on. Those of you who are into Animal Crossing will recognise the characters. There's Isabel and Tom Nook and what's his name? The guy that does the songs. Can't remember his name. He's got a guitar and sings the songs. Oh, I know it, and I just can't find the words in my head. But these pin badges were supposed to arrive with my copy of Animal Crossing, which Jimmy had ordered for my birthday back in March. And they just arrived last week out of the blue. There was a delay on just the pin badges. So they just arrived out of the blue. We weren't sure if they were ever going to arrive because he'd ordered like a special edition thing. And aren't they so cute? I thought, because they're rose gold, I just thought they went perfectly on this bag. Because it's quite a sturdy bag as well. It doesn't, it's not weighing it down or anything like that, even though they are quite hefty metal badges. So I just thought I'd stick them all on there and then it would make me smile whenever I looked at it. So, living in here is a new shawl design. And these are just some skeins which I've had in my stash for a little while as a combination. It's 3 different sport weight yarns. And I've never designed in sport weight. I don't think we use it that often in the UK, just because I think it's more of an American weight of yarn and it's not as readily available over here. But I've really been enjoying using sport weight. And I think I might see more sport weight projects in my future. So I don't want to show you the design yet, I just want to show you the yarns first. That's exciting. I've not been working on this much over the last couple of days because I've been focusing on the Sorel sweater, but getting it out of the bag again now makes me really excited. So I've got 3 different colours of sport weight. I've got some of the labels here. Unfortunately, I lost one of the labels. but I believe they're all the same base. I've got 2 skeins of Labianime on their sport weight base, which are both 100% merino. So this is the first colourway. So it's Labianime, and this is ash, I believe. Yeah, this is the ball band here. And yes, you get 355 yards or 325 meters per 100 grams. Yeah, the colourway is ash. I love their ball bands, their logo. So sweet. So that's ash. It's kind of got a bluey, purpley tinge to it. Excuse me. The second Labianime colourway is currently attached to the project. And it is stunning. I don't know if you can see all of the colours there. But this one is Le Petit Nuage, I believe. Let me just double check. Yes. Le Petit Nuage. There we go. So it's this really light grey, like a really light silvery grey with these pops of purple and blue and pink. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. Look at those bits. I really, really love this colourway. Oh, I don't know if you've got these crazy bits. I love those. So those are both Labianime, and then I believe I also have this skein of Primrose Yarn Co. All of these yarns I bought at various times from a yarn story in Bath, and they import a lot of American hand-dyed and obviously French, a lot of the big name indie dyers. So this one, I believe, is Primrose Yarn Co. And I think if I remember rightly, I believe it was a one-off colourway. It seemed to be. I think it said onesies on it. I'm not sure. But it's got quite a range of colours in there. A lot of blue, so it's like a blue base. But there are some lovely pops of other colours. And it's just really fun colourway. So I've got that, and that to make up my shawl colour combination. I just thought they were all really nicely complementing each other. And they're all sport weight on the same base. They feel like the same base anyway. So they've been living in my stash for a little while. Some of them longer than others. And the design I've come up with, this is what I've done so far. There's a lot of ends at the moment, but hopefully you can see it okay. And it's using mosaic knitting. So it looks like this section is colour work, but it's actually just all slip stitches. So it's not stranded colour work where you have to have more than one yarn in a row. You're only ever working with one yarn on a single row. That makes sense. Not sure if it's getting blown out a little bit, but so I've got this section so far, which is, oh, there we go. Oh no, it keeps trying to blow it out. No. It's like, it's a bit darker and the colours are a bit more punchy. There's a bit more contrast than it's showing up on the screen. Yeah. That's what I've done so far. And I've just really been enjoying it. I do have to think, obviously, because I'm designing. And I initially started this design with a different combination of fingering weight yarns, which were in my stash, and the colours just weren't working. And I was just sort of sorting through my stash, and these colours just jumped out. Oh, there we go. You can sort of see it now. Oh no, there we go. It's when it looks, yeah, more contrasted. So that's sort of how it should look. And I'm just on to another little mosaic section here. So the shawl's going to be quite varied in terms of mosaic sections, and I'm toying up the idea of adding a lace section at the end. Not too sure yet. We'll have to see what happens. But at the moment, I'm really enjoying how it's working out. So, yeah. Not sure what else I need to say about this one. I just really love the colours and how they're sort of working together. But yes, it's a triangular shawl. So that's how it is so far. Ooh. Triangular shape, which I do really like the construction method because it's quite a simple construction and really easy to wear as well. So yeah, really enjoying it. And I think this is going to be quite a nice squishy fabric because it's sport weight, and a lot of the sections, like the section up here that's going to be worn like around your neck, is obviously mosaic netting. So on the back it looks like stranded colour work, and you've got multiple layers of yarn. So it will be quite squishy, really nice and squishy, I think. And they're all really soft yarns, so it'll be nice to have as a cosy shawl. So yeah. That was not my last whip. I was about to say it was my last one. It's not the last one. Got one more after this. Let's pop these away. So yeah. Current shawl design. That's the only design currently on my needles. Quite nice to just have one on the go, I think. At the moment, anyway. And the last whip I have is just a new simple pair of socks that I cast on because I need to have a pair on the go at any one time. That's just what I find works for me. So I have cast on a yarn which I'd been promising Jimmy he could have a pair of socks out of for a little while. The yarn is this colourway, and this is Chromatic Yarns, which is by Hannah of the Corner of Craft podcast. It's her hand-dyed yarn company. Here is her label. And all of her colourways are Dungeons and Dragons themed. And this base is the Sturdy Sock base, which is 75% superwash blue-faced Leicester and 25% nylon. And the colourway is Tresim, which I believe is some sort of flying cat, which is quite cool. So this is the yarn all wound up. I really love the colours in this. And I have started the first sock. And I'm doing the same pattern that I sort of followed for the socks I knit for my granddad last year. It's not a pattern that's a specific pattern that I'm following. I'm just sort of doing knit 5, purl 1 all the way around. So it's 6 stitch repeat, and it was just one that I found worked really well for the previous socks. And when Jimmy saw the socks for my granddad, I think he quite wanted a pair for his own, because I explained that the ribbing would help them stay on better. So I think he's hopefully going to appreciate these. Yeah, here's the back. So I'm just doing that same pattern all the way along the sock. So it's pretty much a vanilla sock, just with a bit of ribbing. And because it's Hannah's yarn that I'm using, I decided to also stick one of her progress keepers on here. So I picked the avocado progress keeper because Jimmy loves avocados. And they're socks for Jimmy, so that made the most sense to me. Although I do really like the inside out version of these socks quite a lot. Look at that. I quite like how that looks as well. But Jimmy prefers the outside, so quite like that. I thought that could work really well as a sock. It'd be nice to knit them the knitting way, the way where you're just doing knits, mostly doing knit stitches. But yeah, there you go. That's how they are working up. So I'm not really putting pressure on myself to finish these either. I'm sort of trying to focus on just 1 or 2 whips at any one time, because I'm finding otherwise I'm just feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of the projects I've got on the go. And I feel like I'm making more progress if I focus on a fewer projects at once. So there we go. That's the last whip. I've got no acquisitions, and I've not been doing any spinning since I last spoke to you. Not because I don't want to, but probably just because I felt like I've got so many knitting whips on the needles, and all my spare time I've just been trying to make some progress on those and get the number down, because I've got quite a few at the moment. So I think it's just because I've got things like a bit of gift knitting, the Bonbon Bunny, which would probably be the quickest thing to finish now, but I just don't really feel like knitting that. And then I've obviously got the wedding shawl, which is a long-standing whip, and the sweater for Jimmy as well. So I feel like some of these need to get finished soon. Finish the Sorel sweater, maybe then I'll finish the Bonbon Bunny. We'll have to see. So that was everything I had to show you today, and I think this is going to be quite a long episode. So I hope you're still with me, and I hope you enjoyed everything that I had to show you. Not really got much in the way of life news. We are carrying on, staying at home as we have been, apart from I'm going to work, obviously, and we're trying to limit our trips to the shops to like as few as possible. I've been enjoying working out in the garden. I'll try and include a few clips of that, but it's very windy today, so I will try my best. But yeah, we've been working hard on keeping the garden nice and enjoying the weather, making the most of it, because this could be the only sun we get for the year. You just never know over here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a lovely couple of knitty weeks. Stay safe, hope you're all happy and healthy and doing the best you can with this situation. And just remember, it won't last forever. We will all get through this. So yeah, I'll speak to you all again soon.